What's going on, guys? It's your boy Anthony back with another edition of the Fourth Man Podcast. And I'm telling you, this is going to be the best episode of 2023 so far, because not only do we have an interview today with one of the big three players, but we also got some big time news kind of stemming from some of the news that we reported earlier this year that the big three dropped today. So really excited to get into it. Before we hop right into the news and into the interview with Karlis Lasmanis, make sure you're following all our social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Fourth Man Pod. I don't have a blue check mark yet on Twitter or Instagram, but the way things are going right now, that could soon change in the very near future. So make sure you're following over there. If you want to watch the show, if you're intrigued by some of the content we're posting on our Instagram and Twitter pages, posting a little bit of different types of content here and there on the YouTube side. So if you're interested, make sure you're following at youtube.com/fourthmanpod. Make sure you're subscribed, hitting this notification bell so you know whenever the episodes drop and whenever we drop different types of content leading up to the draft and everything that the Big Three offseason has to offer. And then everyone tuning in from Dash Radio, Nothing But Net channel, as well as everyone tuning in from the Believe family. We appreciate you guys tuning in and appreciate you, Believe, for giving us a platform each and every week to host our show and talk about the Big Three. But man, like I said, best episode of 2023 so far. I was ecstatic. I was elated when I saw the update today from the Big Three. I know that they had announced the schedule or the locations, but today the Big Three announced that the schedule is set, the locations are set, at least for the regular season, and we have something to look forward to with the approximate dates, as well as the places that we can see these games moving forward as the Big Three season 6 schedule, regular season schedule, I should say, dropped. And it's pretty similar to what we expected and what I announced earlier this year. You know, that the season will start in Chicago, June 25th on a Sunday to kick off the season 6 of the Big Three regular season. And still the same cities: Dallas, New York, Memphis, Miami, Charlotte, and Detroit. The only switch up here is that the Big Three, I guess, decided not to play in DC, or maybe they had some complications. So from DC, they're going to Boston, which will take place in TD Garden week 6 on a Sunday on July 30th. So still, you know, I still think it's going to be a great atmosphere and a great place to have the games. I know a lot of people are looking forward to getting to watch the Big Three in DC for the first time because the league is yet to play there. There's a ton of guys from the DMV DC area, but hopefully that will come in the future. I still think playing in TD Garden is, if not a better situation, a close second to what they originally had scheduled already. So the season is set. The regular season will take place from June 25th to August 13th. They did put on the schedule that week 9 and week 10 are still to be announced in terms of locations, but they did say that the dates will be August 19th and August 26th, with the first set of playoff games being on the 19th, and then the All-Star game and the championship game, kind of like last year, will take place on the same day on August 26th. So super pumped. It means that there are some things already lined up. It means that there's probably some more news coming in terms of when the tryouts are going to happen, when the combine is going to happen, when the draft is going to happen, maybe some player updates. What did they call them again? I'm trying to think. Splash alerts coming on the way. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen. It's already got some guys kind of talking within the chat as well, guys that are hyped up for the Big Three to return. And I just want to point everyone's attention to one thing. Maybe this is on the hush hush. I'm not going to put this out there on social media in the event that nobody, you know, or in the event that probably more people are going to come across things that we post on our social media more so than our show here on YouTube or even on Apple, Spotify, or whatever the case may be. But Justin Denman, who's a co-captain for Tri-State, had mentioned, you know, was obviously one of the people that were excited, one of the players excited for the Big Three to drop their schedule today. And in the comments, let me see if I can pull this up. But in the comments, he said, "Let's go." And he tagged not only his captain, Jason Richardson, and I went to his Instagram page rather than the Big Threes, but not only did he tag Jason Richardson as captain, but he also tagged Deshaun Stevens, which, if you've been tuned in with the Big Three, you know that he was a staple for Aliens last year, and a guy that's going to fall back in the draft pool. But I don't know, maybe some things are changing. I mean, maybe he's going to be a future co-captain, a guy they don't want to go in the draft pool. Kind of gives me also an idea that, or, you know, and maybe this is just an assumption, but maybe Larry Sanders isn't going to return this summer and they got to fill that spot, his place, his role, what he does on the defensive end with somebody who can kind of fill with that, the same type of abilities, but also, come in with that same type of energy. If you watch Dusan Stevens, he's all about energy. It's all about energy for him when he comes and hits the court. So he would be a perfect replacement, if not even a better, I don't want to say a better player, but maybe a better piece for what they're trying to do in terms of trying to go and get back to the playoffs and win that championship. Justin Denman's comment was, "Let's go." He tagged BIG3 Tri-State, Jason Richardson, who's the captain, obviously, and then Dusan Stevens. Also, too, it seems like Jason Richardson's coming back. This man's about to be 43. I still see this man dunking. I think he was at some event with his son who plays basketball as well. And this man was still dunking at 43. So I'm super excited to see him. And I think one thing that is cool here is that still have the New York date set there, where they're going to play Arthur Ashe Stadium, which our assumption has been that it's going to be an outside event, and they're going to kind of open up the dome there. So that should be really cool. It'll be the first time that the Big Three has played outside in one of their games. And then 2, they're still going to be playing in Memphis for the first time. And we're still the league is still going to go back to Detroit. So the last game of the season, at least in the regular season, will be played in Detroit. Detroit has been a place that has been rocking with the Big Three since the first year. And it's just really cool that they're going to be able to go back to Detroit, where I think it's going to be it's probably going to be one of the most lit places, lit events. I don't even know how to call it, because all the games are played there. So it's not just one game. It's going to be some of the most lit games, I think, with a really ecstatic, energized crowd getting to see their favorite players, their favorite teams within the Big Three. So really cool to see. Another thing I want to point out here, since I already pointed out that, potentially Tri-State's plans here. But another thing I want to point out here is that they only listed one day of the weekend on every single week of the regular season. So the past few years, they've been playing on Saturday and Sundays, and then they'll have the Big Three ball out, which is played on a Saturday or a Sunday with all the games playing. But they've been splitting up like 3 and 3 a lot of the time on Saturday and Sundays the past few years. And it looks like this year they're going to have all 6 games being played on the same day, which I don't know how much tickets are going to be, but it's a bargain within itself. You're getting 6 games. It's going to be like 6 hours of fun. It only takes up one day, so you don't necessarily have to dedicate your whole weekend to the Big Three, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but you do get to dedicate yourself to having like one special day, especially because there's only 8 games. I mean, people are probably making a trip out of this a lot of times, booking marking their calendars. They're not just going to go impulsively probably go to one of these games. They could, but more than likely to be able to see your favorite player and only a select amount of locations, probably making a trip out of this. So I actually like that idea. You're not missing out on anybody. You're not necessarily buying a ticket and hoping that one team plays when they really play on the next day. So I like that fact. And man, I can dedicate. I mean, y'all know me at this point. I can dedicate, one Sunday or one Saturday each week to be watching the Big Three games. Whether I'm doing it here in the States, whether I'm doing it overseas like I did last year, I can do it. Like it's no problem. It's going to be a heck of a time, and I'm super pumped that the Big Three is going to be coming back, and excited to see what other changes are going to come from a captain perspective. It looks like we'll have at least one new co-captain. Again, these are all assumptions, but these are, again, I've been watching the league, been intertwined with the league for a long time, and I see these things being played out before they actually happen. It just looks like something that could happen. I'm just saying, you never know. So super pumped about that. It feels like sometimes that this offseason is so long, we don't get enough news, but I understand totally trying to ramp it up as we get closer and closer to that June start date. So it's really encouraging, exciting when some news drops, because especially around this time, because it only makes me think that more news is coming slowly and surely. But excited to see what else happens, man. It's going to be crazy. That's really all I had in terms of, the news for today. I know it was a ton of news, but hey, everyone's going to start somewhere. The cool part about this is that we're going to get to hear from Aliens co-captain Karlis Lasmanis, who just finished up his first season in the Big Three. He's a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, a FIBA 3-on-3 superstar, and helped Aliens in a lot of ways get to their first playoff appearance in franchise history. Whether, I'm not sure if any players are watching this, but whether or not you liked how things ended at the end of the seasons, Aliens made their run. Aliens got into the playoffs, and they put up a valiant effort to try to knock off the defending champions before ultimately, they ended up losing by 5. But really cool conversation, just hearing from someone who like Karlis, who didn't necessarily come from like an NBA background, doesn't even necessarily come from a 5-on-5 background in terms of his pro career, but he's someone that was influenced kind of by, Dusan Bulut, who he's been playing against for a very, very long time, and had the opportunity to come, continue to walk down that path that Dusan was, has, blazed since he started or was drafted back with Ball Hogs in 2019. So cool. It was just cool to hear his perspective and his thoughts on, the competition, the style of play, how much it differed from his FIBA game, the different athletes that they had, how much he wished that a lot of these big three guys could play in the leagues and the tournament and the games and the tour of FIBA. Like I know he wanted some of those guys to be able to play on that end, just, see how it could go, or even have some kind of collaboration, which I don't think will ever happen just because of past beef with FIBA and BIG3, but it would be cool. So it's really cool to hear his perspective. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Again, make sure you're following us on all our social media platforms as well as YouTube. And yeah, let's just get into it. Here's our interview with Aliens co-captain Karlis Lasmanis. All right. So today we're excited to welcome on Latvian native, FIBA 3-on-3 superstar, and Aliens co-captain Karlis Lasmanis. Karlis, again, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody.
So I want to start off with a little icebreaker here. I know we were kind of talking beforehand, but I want to start off with a little icebreaker with the question that I heard the other day. And it was, would you rather watch basketball or watch sports but never play any sports again, or play sports but never watch them again for the rest of your life?
Bro, that's a really tricky question, because with all my injuries right now, I don't know which way I want to go. But playing sports is like different, that gives you so much different emotions, and I think I will stick with playing them because I have that winner's mentality, and as a spectator, sometimes it's so hard to watch something and you're not can affect.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, like from our perspective, like just watching games, like especially when you used to play sports. Like for myself, I used to play, and like now just watching it's so much harder. But yeah, I think you're doing pretty well playing them, so I would stick to it as well. I want to start with kind of your background a little bit. Obviously, you joined the BIG3, just wrapped up your first season this past summer, but I don't feel like anyone really got the proper introduction to getting to know who you were outside if they watched the Olympics or were watching FIBA regular basis. So would love to start with kind of your background and how you got started playing basketball in the first place.
So my dad was a professional basketball player, and he was like, in daily basis, he was just a professional athlete. Because before he was Olympic rower, and then he switched somehow to basketball. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I was with him for all my childhood, and I just didn't have any other opportunities, and and then I just stick with the basketball, and then I love to be here.
Did you ever consider rowing or another sport?
No, not really. No, I tried a lot. Soccer. Tennis. And other sports, because I'm coming from a little town. It calls Ventspils. We have like 40,000 people there. Okay. And when you're coming from the small city, you have to try everything. Yeah. Because like all your friends are playing everything. So, but basketball was like really in my heart, and I couldn't switch that. Not against anything else.
So growing up, were you always playing 3-on-3, or were you more of a 5-on-5 player? I guess what was kind of your background and actually how you got into playing, professionally 3-on-3?
Well, when I was young, then there was only ball, and doesn't matter how many people was on the court. So just sometimes we played 3-on-3, sometimes 1-on-1. Like just a pickup basketball. And it's not about like how many people are on the court, but it's about how you loving that ball, and how you wanna score that ball in that basket, and how you wanna trick the other player who playing defense on you. So that's the most important things. And if you love and if you like to do that, so I think it's just a ball. It's just a basketball.
Yeah, and I think everybody too like grows up playing 3-on-3 basketball, but like you're saying, a lot of times people will just come from everywhere and be like, hey, can I play? Hey, can I play? And then ends
Yeah,
up
yeah,
being,
yeah, yeah.
4, 5, 6, or it could be just one-on-one. So that makes total sense. You just kind of like familiarize yourself with the game. And then ultimately you've gotten to a point where you did get a chance to pursue a professional route. Decided to start playing with the FIBA, like 3-on-3 World Tour. What made you go that route in comparison to maybe traditionally some people, at least here in America, traditionally some people go the 5-on-5 route and are trying to go different avenues that way?
For me, 3x3, that switch to 3x3 was because of, like, I was playing 5-on-5 for years, and then I had this opportunity to go to European Championship and to wear my Latvian jersey, national team jersey, and then somehow we were like a new kids on the block, but somehow we won European Championship in the first year. Like, we came together, and that was like mind blow for me. Like, how can we be that good? Maybe we need to practice more in this game, and maybe we can reach some higher points of our I think on our like careers. And I don't know, like, and then after that they say that 3x3 gonna be on Olympics, and I was tired of that. You know how it is in 5-on-5 basketball. You know, you have a contract for like 10 months, and then like last 3 months they don't pay you salary because, like, usually they're struggling with the budgets and everything. And I was like tired of that also, and I decided to switch something, and we were pretty good. We earned some money, we get some sponsors, and that like I was pretty safe to be 3x3 player because I could like pay my bills and everything. So that was a nice switch for me. I was in the right time in the right place, what I can say.
That's pretty insane. So you actually played 5v5 and probably had a chance to go professionally there, but then you find this like opportunity and you do really well just playing like a regular 3-on-3 tournament, and now it's your career.
Yeah,
That
but
that's
but but one more thing I forgot to say, because that opportunity came because we were playing in that, like, we have a tournament in Latvia, what we call ghetto basket. It sounds kind of maybe, yeah,
I've seen
strange
that on
for
your
you,
page
but
a couple of times.
yeah. So we had this ghetto basket, and it was like every week on Monday, Tuesday, on Saturdays, and there was like, I don't know, hundreds of people there who just playing 3x3 ball, and I had a really good relationships with a guy who is owner of that like place, and
Hmm.
he somehow introduced me with my other teammates, and that was the point how we started to play together, and here we are.
Yeah, now you guys are running the FIBA tour. I got to ask you about the FIBA tour because you guys travel across the world to be able to play in different tournaments, things like that. What has that experience been like outside of the fact that you guys are winning and obviously you're making some money through like different avenues, but the experience to be able to travel to some beautiful parts of the world and just all over the
Yeah.
world has got to be one of the more exciting parts about the job, right?
Yeah, that's great. You travel so many places, and you meet so many people, and became a good friends everywhere. And this thing warms your heart the most, because like I can go basically everywhere in the world, and have my baller friends all over the world, and this really warms my heart. So I mean, like, this was one of the aspects why I also switched that 5-on-5 to 3x3, because I can like see so many places in the world and meet so many people
Yeah, and
like
there's
you
so
guys.
many. Exactly. And there's so many people in the world that love basketball. I think that you've probably got a good idea of that now, just traveling these different places and the fan base is showing up to watch you guys play.
Yeah. This is insane. Like, for example, Philippines, they shocked me. Like, you go to tournament, and outside you're driving with a bus, and outside there's like a storm, like a huge storm, uh huge wind, and then rain and everything, and then you see on those kids on the street, they don't care, they hooping, and
Yeah,
this is crazy. And then you can see all of those little things all around the world. Like, that's crazy.
that's dope. Yeah, so you've had obviously a ton of career in the FIBA tour, but then you just mentioned, like you said, the Olympics came out and said that they were going to start making 3x3 basketball a professional sport within the Olympics. You guys obviously had a phenomenal Olympic run, taking home the first gold. You were the top scorer and now a gold medalist. Can you just talk to me about that experience playing in the Olympics and kind of being, a pioneer, trailblazer for future, Olympic teams,
Yeah.
Olympic 3x3 teams in the coming future?
Yeah, that was my dream to be there, because like my father was into Olympics with rowing, and he never took a medal, and I was like in my mind, I just want to beat my father a little bit, I had that little thing in my head, and somehow when I found out that 3x3 gonna be Olympics, so I decided like I'm gonna do everything to get that medal. So as we arrived to Tokyo, it was kind of I don't know how to describe this feeling what I had in that time, but we were like a guys on a mission, so but that's because of that we didn't start really good. We had like 3 losses and everything, but somehow we came back, and then I don't know, like we were lucky, but if you want to be lucky, you need to earn that luck. So
Mhm.
somehow we did it, and it was like great achievement for us. And yeah, like you said, we're like a pioneers for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, like you're etched in
We'll see
stone
what
as the first ever gold medalist in that sport in the Olympics. So that's pretty
Hey, but bro,
insane.
that was long time, bro. That was long time ago. So now, uh, fuck that. Oh, sorry.
You're
Fuck
good. You're
that.
good.
That's the past. So we want to go for another one. So
Yeah.
that's where we aiming. And we'll see how we're gonna execute that.
Yeah, and I want to pivot off that, but real quick, I got to ask, obviously your dad probably doesn't want you to beat him at anything, but I'm sure he gave you a little bit of advice before the Olympics. Was there anything he shared with you that kind of motivated you or helped guide you, going into the Olympics?
Yeah, for a lot of athletes who are going to Olympics, it's like there's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, because they they had that pressure from, for example, for their nationalities, or anybody, and then they just want to be better than they are. And my father just told me, enjoy. You go there, you enjoy, you do what you do what you usually do, and just and like go win everybody, but like not with that hard feeling, but go there with the flow, and then everything gonna be all right. And that's what happened, I
Yeah,
think.
that's a great mentality. Go in, just enjoy it, live in the present, and good things will happen if you just put your head down and work. And obviously, it paid out. And one of the guys you beat during your Olympic run, or one of the guys that you have a higher medal than, and in the Olympics now is your now teammate in the BIG3, Dusan Bulut, who ended up
Yeah.
with a bronze medal. Obviously, they had a good run too, but like you said, gotta work for that luck a little bit sometimes and put yourself in that position. But you and Dusan got a chance to play this summer. I know Dusan is someone that kind of started this transition from 3x3 FIBA tour over into the BIG3 a few years back. How did the opportunity come about? Was it something that you had talked with Dusan about? Is it something that you reached out to him because you saw something? I guess how did the opportunity for the BIG3 come about?
I mean, somehow, for me and Dushan, I don't know. It's like naturally we had that nice chemistry between each other, like,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow we find it out, and we also became a good friends. And I think that's how we find each other. I don't know. It comes naturally, and because we played so many years against each other, and we're like always want to beat each other. And I think we turned that to just a different kind of game a little bit, that BIG3. But yeah, last year I think we did a great job, obviously, but we could do better for sure. We could do better because it was like everything was new for us. And all of those guys who we play against, they are
Mm-hmm.
like guys with NBA experience, and they're super skilled players. And yeah, and we just saw that we just catch that little feeling that we can beat like everybody somehow, and maybe we didn't trust something that much. I don't know, like, but we lost something at the end of the season. But I think it was a great season, and next time when we're gonna play together, I think it's gonna be better and better. So because we now we know the game, and
Yeah.
we'll see what's gonna happen. But yeah, I can be super thankful to Dusan that he bring me there and told good words about me there, and yeah, so
Is it
hope
one of
to
those
see.
thi- is it one of those things where he like called you up and asked you, hey, do you want to play in this league? Or had you seen Dusan playing a little bit and you had a little bit of interest? I guess how
Bro,
did
when I was
that
a young guy, when I was like 15 years old, I watched how he crossed everybody, in the Euro.
uh-huh.
And like he's like my mentor. And yeah,
Hmm.
he called me, and that somehow yeah, somehow that we were playing together last year.
Man, that's amazing. Had you played with Dusan and or Thomas in the past?
uh
Or just
just
against
against
them?
just
Okay.
just against each other. Just against each other.
I think it's really dope that you guys like when people can find chemistry on the basketball court like kind of immediately, especially being like kind of like rivals for a long time. But it's got to be like a kind of an interesting or weird feeling in a sense, like joining a team and like okay, we've been playing against each other forever. I've been playing against you two forever, and now we're playing all on the same team and coming together for one common goal to try to win a chip. That's got to be a an interesting feeling there.
Yeah.
Uh,
You just need to have this winner's mentality, and if you have that winner's mentality, it doesn't matter where you go, you're gonna be
yeah.
good.
Was there or I guess what was the biggest adjustment going from FIBA just over into the big three in your first year?
I mean, the game is different because, like, on Big Three, after you score, you go to the center line and then you start your position again. But
Mm-hmm.
in FIBA, there is like ball is always alive. So,
Mm-hmm.
and those a little transition points where like what we are used to do usually, like how we catch our opponents usually, that was a little bit weird, not weird, but different.
Yeah.
And then also, those guys, they are like physical, they are good skilled players with like with great experience, and then also that, so what, I don't know, it was different. I want to see those guys playing in FIBA. I really want to see those guys playing in FIBA. I want to see how they're gonna fall there.
Well, I was going to say FIBA. I've watched some FIBA games just over the past few years, trying to get familiar with you and Dusan and everybody else, and it's pretty physical in its own right. I mean, in terms of how you guys play, and like you said, it's nonstop. So there's no slacking or like no time to rest, no time to really think about anything. You just kind of have to, go
Yeah.
through what you've practiced and played. I feel like, right?
In FIBA is more about like physicality, like pushing, grabbing, and things like that. In Big Three, it's more about your skill, what you can do, like
Mm-hmm.
how you can cross, how you can score, and because in FIBA you sometimes can win somebody because you are in better shape,
Mm-hmm.
but here, I mean, good shape will help you a lot, but if you are not that skilled, and if you don't know what to do on the court, so in Big Three you don't have anything to do.
Interesting.
That's my thoughts.
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys had a really good first season. Obviously, this is the furthest that Aliens has ever gone. You guys took them to the playoffs for the first time. That's the second expansion team to do that. Triplets had done that in the past, winning a championship. I was really
Oh, we
impressed.
were that close. We were that close. You
Yeah.
can't imagine like how much that hurt. How much that hurt.
What do
That
you
was
think was the biggest difference at the end? Do you think that people just kind of got familiar with your style a little bit? Do you feel like there was just, I mean, do you feel like there was something that you guys could have done differently that would have helped, especially in that last game in the playoffs?
I mean, yeah, maybe we can practice more like during in those weeks together. Like
Mm-hmm.
I really like that how the Powers team did. They were like living in a one place,
Yeah.
and then practicing all together, and I think that helps them to get that far. And I think we should do the same because three of us, me, Dusan, and Toma, we are like together, but other guys were different, like, and they just came. They just came to the games. But if we would maybe in future maybe if we're gonna do different in future, then I don't know. Maybe big things can happen, And this, Latvian assassin maybe can be a champion of BIG3. You never know.
You got to get another ring there. I was really impressed too with just kind of your chemistry as a team, but even just bringing Dusan in on your team. I felt like he was just like a natural fit into what you guys did. Dusan mentioned that he had watched this game before, and then that's why he drafted him. Was there any like consulting with you guys about like bringing him in, or did Dusan like ask you and Tamas your thoughts on?
Hey, come on, it doesn't matter who we're gonna pick. Like if you're coming to play with aliens, with those nice guys like me, Dusan and Toma, you're gonna be good. You feel it?
I feel it. I feel it.
Joking, but like Dejan and Adam and coach and everybody was so nice, and like our chemistry was really good together. I don't know, but that comes naturally,
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm sure it helps too that Dusan played overseas for a little bit, kind of understood
this guy, he's good. He's good, trust me.
Yeah.
He can jump.
I would love to know like kind of like your thoughts too, just on the experience as a whole, like not so much in the basketball, but like you got the chance to like come overseas and work, and play in the States, kind of live in the States for a few months, get to see different parts of what the US has to offer. Not sure if you had done that in the past or not, but would love to know like kind of just off the court, your favorite experiences or your favorite moments of this past summer.
Yeah, that was my first experience there, and in America. I never been in America before, and everything there was new for me, like a new continent, And but I was living in Texas for a whole time, so man,
that's wild.
That was hot. That was hard, but no, like the experience was amazing, and I really love the food, man.
Really?
I'm in love with this waffles and bacon and maple syrup. This is my favorite.
Really? That's crazy.
I'm trying to do the same here in Latvia. So,
we can ship you some waffles.
like Coach Rick now call me like waffles. He called me waffles. That's my nickname.
What was
like everything was great there. Like I don't know where to start, because like we were in Vegas. I saw Vegas only in movies before, and then we were practicing at Impact Gym, and Carmelo Anthony was practicing like before me, and I was like, what's happening? Like, we there, and we. Oh, that was like everything what happened there. It was new, and it was amazing experience for me. I just cannot mention my favorite. My favorite thing, because all those 3 months was favorite for me.
Yeah, I can only imagine your first time going there, and I'm glad that you're able to enjoy that experience while having a lot of success in the BIG3. It was really a fun summer to see you guys, and I'm excited to see what you guys do next year. Would love to know too. You guys are obviously there's a lot of people coming over now from the FIBA side of things, the 3x3 side of things. First Dusan, now you and Tamas. Anybody on the FIBA tour currently, or maybe even in the past, that you think would be a good fit and should try out the BIG3 themselves?
Yeah, why not? I think like for sure. Like, I mean, like Miazis, my current teammate Miazis, he would be good, I think, and there's a bunch of good players also in FIBA, so I think that would be nice. How to say, nice mix with those guys, and maybe try. It would be nice that if we could play in a both tournaments, during in the summer. That would be the best, and then see how we're gonna play, end of the season, because I would love to have some teammates from some teammates from BIG3, and to try to play with them maybe in FIBA, but like now I don't know, like now it's impossible, but maybe one day things will happen. I don't know.
It's difficult. I thought it was cool that you Dusan and Tamas actually played in a tournament. I can't remember exactly where it was, but somewhere in Europe, you guys teamed up and played together, which I thought was in a little tournament. I think you guys placed third, but I thought that was a cool experience.
Serbia, yeah. Before
in
that,
Serbia,
Serbia, yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
that was
that
pretty
was
cool that you guys teamed up again.
yeah. That was great. That was great. We almost won, but all those teams, they were in like best shapes in that moment, and
Hmm.
we were that close to win and be in a final. But in Serbia, it's never easy. It doesn't matter who you're gonna play, man. The Serbs, they know how to play.
Yeah, they're that's well represented, I think, in any
Yeah.
basketball
Dusan
league.
Toma, like they're crazy.
Yeah. We'll have to
And
gotta keep them under wraps here for this next season. But last thing I wanted to say is, obviously you got your second season coming up here this summer. Now you got a little bit of experience under your belt and kind of understand what's to come.
I need to say you one thing that this season I couldn't I cannot go there to BIG3 because things a little bit changed with me, and
Okay.
then I had like a wonderful contract from Team Beijing,
Okay.
and I'm gonna represent China this year, and I signed contract for like 10 months with them. So
Congratulations.
yeah, so I couldn't this year it's tough for me to go there represent. I'm gonna be with aliens in my heart, but like this year it is what it is, but
Mhm.
maybe in the future we'll see.
Okay. Even better question then. As you watch from afar and see what's going on, what do you feel like Aliens needs to do this year, or what do you think they need to add this year in order for them to take that next step and make to that championship?
They just need to be first to reach those 50 points,
Yeah.
and then everything, and then all the best gonna happen with them.
Yeah, 100%. I think you guys made a good solid like step in the right direction, and now it's just up to Dusan and the rest of the guys that come back to make that next jump. So definitely gonna miss
Hey,
you
you
this
know what?
summer.
We have all those notes. We have all those notes. Now we just need to play music. So it's that easy.
Yeah, it's that easy. You just got to go out and do it.
Yeah,
But
nothing is easy, but yeah,
yeah,
it's all
100%.
about good music.
100%. Well, Carlos, I appreciate the time. Best of luck in China and representing China. Definitely going to miss you this summer, but definitely, still be thinking of you when we watch Aliens and hope to see you back playing again in the future. But we'll definitely be
All my
supporting
heart. Hey,
here.
I'm there with all my heart. I gotta
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
that for sure. And yeah, now it's funny, not funny thing, but good thing is that a lot of people in Latvia started to watch BIG3, and I think it's a good turn for you guys and for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, 100%. We'll continue to support from our end as well as you do big things this summer playing with Team China. So excited to see what you do. But thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And again, the line's always open, the support's always there. So we'll be in touch.
Yeah, say hi to Cube from me, huh?
We'll do. We'll do.
Hey, bye.
See ya.
Enjoy.
All right. Well, that was our interview with Karlis Lasmanis. Just want to say thank you again to Karlis. He took time out of his day right after practice, in his free time to come on and join us on the show. It was really just cool to hear his perspective and his background. And come to find out, after we stopped recording and we were just kind of talking afterwards, this man didn't even really know a ton of English before getting to the BIG3 this summer. I would have never guessed that. I felt like he answered every question well. I felt like he understood me completely throughout the conversation, and it was just. I mean, I got to give a lot of kudos to people who can speak multiple different language, or kind of on that road to being a polyglot. It's pretty dope. But just want to say thank you again. I really appreciate his perspective. It was a little gut wrenching to hear that he won't be playing in the BIG3 kind of for his sophomore season, but totally understand why. You know, getting another opportunity to not only play at a different type of basketball, but make a lot of money as well. So really cool, that he's going to get the opportunity, and hope to see him, in the future playing in the BIG3. He said he still got aliens in his heart. So I got to think that at some point there's going to be some kind of return coming to the for him to come back to the BIG3. But thank you everyone again who tuned into the show. Really excited about the upcoming season. Again, if you're not already doing so, make sure you're following us on social media at Fourth Man Pod, 4TH Man Pod. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, hitting that notification bell. More good things to come. Hopefully we can make it out to a couple games and really do some things from a visual perspective. That is really one of my goals. I know for a long time I talked about doing more shorts, doing more things on TikTok. So hopefully I'm kind of living up to my word a little bit. I'm doing my best. I got a lot of other ideas before the actual season comes. So hopefully those things come to fruition. You guys get a chance to see those and enjoy those as well. Because ultimately, not only do I want to talk about the big three, not only do I want to bring more awareness, but I want to bring more value to you guys and why you guys should be watching the big three, because I do think there's a lot of good, big things to come in the future years. But thank you again to everyone tuned in, and we'll see you guys next time.